Good morning. How's it going? Oh, wait. I can see clearly now. The rain is gone. Okay. Do I have subscriber only mode on still? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Old tactic. Hi, Kelly. What's up, man? Drop a like on the stream. Call in. Hi, Sri. How about Charlie Kirk? Charlie Kirk's a funny guy, right? I feel like Charlie Kirk's my least favorite person. Seeing him go on college campuses and do what he does is really disgusting. To be real. To be real. He is a crazy Christian nationalist authoritarian. Terrible person. Everything about life you should hate. Everything you should hate in life.
I've talked to you about their commitment to family, faith, and freedom. But have you made the switch yet? Backup line on your phone. Patriot can do it all. Switching is easy.
Wait a second, my microphone sounds weird.
Number your phone or get a new one. Go to patriotmobile.com/Kirk25.
Does he sound weird? Does he just sound weird, or do I sound weird? Wait a second.
Hello.
Hello. I just kind of had a few questions, and I'm coming to you, like, respectfully, because I have no intention of being rude or anything, despite what you may think. I will be voting for the Democratic Party. Hold your booze. Hold your booze. I was,
You kind of invited them, honestly.
Yeah, probably,
Just get them out, guys. Get it out.
Yeah, but it's okay. I don't really care.
All right, now enough. Stop it.
Yeah, no, but I don't really care. Because honestly, I feel like...
Be nice, guy.
The only way to unite the country...
Hi, Tom. No, I did not mean my microphone. I thought Charlie Kirk sounded weird. I thought my audio was messed up. What's up? Drop likes on the stream, guys. Drop likes. Let me open up my Google Voice real quick. Make sure that's running. Let's see. Someone called at 11 a.m. today. Thank you for calling at 11 a.m. I actually didn't listen to any, I didn't listen to any of these voice talks. Whatever. You know what I mean? Voice, the answering machine, bro.
Man, who do I want to talk to? Do I want to talk to Elon?
These are...
Hi, are non-crazies allowed to call in and have any comments, or is it just insane people?
There's no fun voicemails anymore. That one lady was crazy a few weeks ago that like left voicemails like at 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 1 p.m., 2 p.m. the entire day, but no one leaves fun voicemails anymore.
Country is to unite the parties, even though you disagree. Because honestly, I feel like...
Mantis is blocked in my chat. I'm pretty sure I cleaned out my block list. I mean, wait. I'll check. I'm pretty sure I cleaned out my block list, though.
I honestly feel like
nice, guy.
The only way to unite the country is to unite the parties. Even though you disagree on some things, you're not going to get anything better unless you come together. So I kind of don't understand why y'all turn against each other, but that's not the point I'm trying to make. I have multiple things. Because, like, 3 days ago, I had no intention of voting whatsoever. Because I had heard what my friend said about the Democratic side. Can you please shut up while I'm talking?
Just don't let it get to you, please.
Okay, because it's just disrespectful. But so I had people telling me about the Democratic Party, like different stuff. They were like, "This is good because of this," and then I had my family. They're like, "Well, Trump's good because of this." So then I just started researching, literally 3 days ago, and I fell down this whole like rabbit hole of so much stuff. That's why I will be voting for the Democratic Party.
Can I ask?
Typical voter. I mean, that's one of the big issues with Turning Point USA being on college campuses is that there will be people like this who don't do politics that often. And then the only in-person interaction they have with politics is going to be Turning Point because Democrats don't have an unrelenting propaganda machine like they do. And Democrats don't have their own like PragerU either. So PragerU is going into high schools and stuff. So they can connect right to people that don't know much about politics and then they can lie to them. And people don't know they're being lied to when they get lied to, obviously. Becomes an issue right there.
Ask you, and it's not your question, what did you find persuasive enough to convince you to vote for Democrats?
Well, so you talked about Trump creating safe cities, safe streets, just a safe country, but you know about his rally where he said that he wants 1 full day of police retaliation to eradicate crime. You know about that? Are you familiar with the Night of Broken
It's very
Glass?
American.
Kristallnacht, World War II. Are you familiar with that?
Well, I'm intimately familiar. I'm trying to understand the connection. Are we doing the Nazi thing again, or like, are we, like...
There's honestly...
So
Okay, the idea of suspending all laws for 24 hours to go after the quote-unquote criminals is literally what dictators do when they want to go after the citizens and their political opposition. They suspend laws, yes. If you want to bring up Nazis right away, Charlie Kirk, it's because you're projecting.
So crime was lower under Trump than under Kamala and Joe Biden. So I'm not, like, much lower. Violent crime was...
Actually, it peaked before Trump left. But.
Substantially and sizably lower in every major metro area and every major state.
Okay, I'll give you that one. Because... like I said, I just started researching like 3 days ago.
For sure.
I'm not like everybody else here. Where
That's fine.
Yeah, but they love people that don't have a prior base of knowledge, obviously. It's not her fault. It's not her fault. It's not her fault at all.
Been plotting this all.
But tell me what,
you know.
and it's not your question. I just want to know as someone who does this for a living, because then I can get better. What did you find that you were like, now I'm voting for the Democrat Party? What made that click?
Okay, so the thing with me was my mom kept telling me, oh, go look at the websites. You have to look at the political party websites. So I'm like, okay, fine. Like, I'll look at those too. And so I did, even though those are the most biased sources you're going to get because they're, you know. I was looking under economy because that's everyone's main argument about Trump. They're like, oh, well, I don't like him, but I like his policies. So I wanted to look at his policies. So then I did, and they were a little too strangely similar to the ones I was looking at the Democratic Party. So I'm like, how am I supposed to know which one to believe? Like, you're saying...
Good question. It's a great question. So which one did...
A little bit too similar to the Democratic Party. I wonder what policy she's gonna bring up. What, like a typical voter? We'll see if she goes on websites.
Did it better for 4 years?
Nick Fuentes is based. Wow, there's really... I didn't know we were allowing the Shane Gillis fans in the chat.
Kamala and Joe or Trump?
Are we not under Trump's tax policy right now? Till 2025?
Well, first of all, tax policy is a small part of economic policy. I mean, Joe Biden...
We're going to go into $2 trillion.
Well, tax policy is the only thing Donald Trump did at all because he did nothing else to the economy, which is why it did good the first term, because he only did tax cuts, which, I mean, they were bad regardless, but it wasn't bad enough to really hurt the economy. It just made us go into more deficit spending and gave more money to rich people, mostly. You could do those tax cuts without giving a huge giveaway to billionaires and everything, and corporations, of course. But that's the only thing Trump did. Now Trump is doing more and the economy's crashing for a reason. The deep state kept Trump to do only smart things, or at least, like, you know, less damaging things. And now he is allowed to do his own thing. And it's like giving a baby control of the video game. When you have a little sibling, you give them the fake controller for a reason.
$1 trillion in debt by 2028 because of his tax policy.
That's actually not...
I'm happy she knows that. But he's going to lie because she doesn't know how to defend it, probably.
True.
It actually is true.
No, actually, so what the tax cut actually did is spur economic growth. And you were talking...
dude. Okay, yeah, it sounds really good if you don't look at any of the facts. If you look at no facts, that sounds amazing. Our economic growth continued on the same trajectory post-tax cut that was predicted pre-tax cut. The same trajectory, it's been growing from like 2013, 2016, 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017. The tax cuts did not change anything about economic growth. In reality, it probably hurt us. We saw some reductions in certain manufacturing sectors, and also we went into more deficit spending. We had to bail out farmers. It was still bad.
Talking about is not annualized deficits. You're talking about cumulative debt over 7 to 8 years. But you know what the tax cuts did? It actually cut your taxes. It was the largest middle class tax cut in American history. Now, I just want to ask a question.
But the American people paid for the inflation and pay for the increased deficit because most of the tax cut went to the top 1%. So people that care about the deficit, the working people of this country, pay for those tax cuts. Although you gave a very, very, very small, I guess you could say concession prize or whatever it's called. You still are, it's like you gave someone $10 for their house. Okay, I'll give you $10 for your house. It's like, well, I gave you $10, but in return, they took away much more wealth and opportunity.
Question. It's not a trick question.
But they give you that shiny object, that money up front to make it look like you actually gained something. Please drop a like and subscribe. Please drop a like and subscribe. Call into the show. I have a phone number up there. You can call in at any time. We can talk about one of these issues. Please drop a like, subscribe. We can talk about it.
75% of Americans say the economy was better under Trump.
Were we not under Obama's tax policy? And
So
plus
that-
the pandemic, that's not really normal. So of course the economy is going.
Well, hold on. You got to stop with this like Obama, Trump. You have to take ownership of your administration. So Trump will
Okay.
take ownership.
AKA, I mean, or not even AKA, but also, think about how Trump answers every question right now. It's like, hey, Trump, do you have any personal responsibility? Do you have any like personal understanding of anything? He's like, Joe Biden sucks. It's like Donald Trump, the economy's crashing. We're losing to China and Russia right now. Joe Biden, it's his fault. My actions are his fault. And Charlie Kirk saying, take responsibility for it. Okay.
He had the lowest unemployment. Wages were going up. No inflation. Housing boom.
No
Why is
inflation.
that? He kept energy prices low.
Remember, inflation peaked before Trump left, and the inflation was from COVID, which Trump made worse by handling COVID terribly.
Tax for middle class families. Got rid of stupid regulation, and we saw an economic renaissance. The American people remember how good that
Economic
economy was, guys.
renaissance.
It was amazing.
And they have to keep on saying, remember how good it was, because the only way you think Trump did a good job is if you use emotional thinking and you don't think critically about it in any factual framing. Because the moment you look at the actual facts of it, you're going to say, wow, why did Trump cut taxes for the ultra wealthy so corporations could do stock buybacks? And why is Trump cutting cancer research and children's cancer research and breast cancer research and restricting all this research for the weakest and most sick members of our society who did nothing wrong except get cancer? Like, why is Trump cutting veterans and veteran services? Once you start looking into the facts, it doesn't look as good. Of course, things weren't terrible. We live in the 21st century, a very modern time. Things have been improving, but by every, metric other than you need to use, you have to just reminisce on it,
And we don't have that now.
So would you say he's a good businessman?
Yeah, I mean, he's a multi-billionaire.
What about his multiple?
Yeah, multi-billionaire. So, for example, let's say you start off with a huge empire of assets. You get your family's company. You get upfront $400 million. And throughout that way, you have to get billions forgiven because of your bankruptcies. You have like 4,000 times he was sued during his entire career as a businessman. He was never a real CFO or a CEO. He never handled day-to-day operations. He was a brand rep. All the people behind the scenes did the actual work. Trump did not do anything. And there's a reason Trump has zero idea how the economy works. He never dealt with the economy. Trump dealt with strong-arming people with more of a mafia type setting, to be honest. Which is why Trump probably was friends with Jeffrey Epstein. Pretty close friends because they were involved in the same type of business.
Businesses that have went into bankruptcy?
Yeah, I mean, look, you're going to fail sometimes when you do businesses. But
10 times?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, he's 78 years old. I mean, how many billions?
Yeah, but if you're a working class person and you're out of a job and you need assistance to get back on your feet, then Charlie Kirk is going to say you should be killed because you're worthless for society. But if you're a billionaire, you could bankrupt 25 companies and it's all rainbows. Sunshine and rainbows. Oh, the work I do. Hi, this is the YouTube politics thing. Oh, you hung up, brother. You called me. Call back. I know you did not know you did not know it was me, but you should call back, okay? Because we could have a nice conversation. You thought Bill Clinton was close to Epstein. Well, if he was, guess what? Donald Trump was a huge Clinton funder too, right? Trump funded Clinton too. So even if you believe that, he was still best friends with Epstein. Epstein himself said they were best friends. So did Trump. Trump was friends with P. Diddy too. Hey, what's up? This is the politics guy. What's up?
Yeah, what's going on, bro?
Nothing much. How about you?
Just looking at the shit show. So this is just my insight on what I see. So I'm an American truck driver. I've been over the road since like 2019. So within the last, I'd say like 2.5, 3 weeks, our company, our carrier, has seen a decrease in rates, in capacity by 25%. I was just in Washington State last week, which has huge ports. I mean, there's the Port of Seattle, the Port of Tacoma, the Port of Snoqualmie. Like, there's a lot of ports in Washington State. And it took us 3 days to find a load that was even okay to run to be somewhat profitable.
Yeah.
This man, and I was a supporter of him. I was happy for him to get into office because of the inflation that was going on, all of the, the I'll just say the letter people, pushing that stuff on kids. I'm a Christian man. I don't believe that you're supposed to, push sexuality on kids, and you could be a cat or you could be a dog or you could be this or that. Nah, you're born what God gives you. Whatever you're born with, that's what you are. So I wasn't digging that with the whole Democratic Party, the DEI stuff and all of that. And I'm an African American male, so I still wasn't digging it. But as far as his his policies that has to do with global finance and the economy, it's trash. These tariffs are killing the country. Capacity is about to drop about 40%. So within, I'd say by the beginning of June, we're going to start to see empty shelves. People are going to start panicking. And the global trade from China to get to our ports and then to get unloaded and then to get put on intermodal, which is the train rails, and then to get put on trucks. That process takes about 8 weeks, right? So
Yeah.
I mean, for every week that we do this, it sets us back about 8 weeks. So I mean, it's already been what, 2.5, 3 weeks. This is going on the third week. So I mean, we're literally set back like 24 weeks, bro. Like, it's going to take a long time for industries to recover. There's going to be a lot of people that go bankrupt. And even my carrier, like, I used to be able to call my carrier and say, hey, like, I don't want to dig into my savings. Let me get a $250 advance and just take it out of my next settlement, right? And they'll be like, all right, yeah, well, here's the EFS code. You go inside the truck stop, you give them the EFS code to give you the cash. Bada bing, bada boom, done. We have to cut that service to our drivers because of what's currently going on. This man is killing industry and people who voted for him.
There's a couple things I would say. I'll let you finish real quick.
Oh, okay, my bad, bro. I know I'm talking a lot.
No worries, no worries.
There's just been a lot of shit on my mind.
No, it's good to hear from someone on the ground that's dealing with it, because we don't just want to hear political pundits talk about it.
Right, exactly. I mean, I can tell you this, bro. 8 out of 10 truckers voted for Trump. I'll tell you that straight up. The trucking industry is very strong conservative and very pro-Trump. Same thing with the farmers. Same thing with a lot of port workers. Same thing with the guys that work in all of the construction trades. He is literally killing his base financially. Like, if you wanted to keep power to the Republican Party, good luck with that shit, bro. Like, motherfuckers are gonna run. I mean, excuse my language. People are gonna run back to the Democratic Party because it wasn't this bad when Biden was in office, and this is self-inflicted.
Yeah, I guess a couple of the points would be, like, number one, I would say that these politicians try to stoke fears about the LGBT stuff and also race issues because that's easy to talk about. They could fearmonger about anyone, and we could talk more about that if you want, but first on the economic side, and there is a reason they talk about trans people all the time because they know that, they do know that voters like you will fall for that. It's easy bait for them. Right. And I'm not saying that your concerns are not legitimate. We can talk about that later. But that is why they lead with that because they don't got to do anything, right? They don't got to do the job. They could just say, hey, we're gonna stop this stuff that's happening that you think is bad and is gonna be done with. But yeah, I mean, if you look at it right now, Trump is giving easy access to Apple and Walmart and all these huge companies to get exemptions. But then they have to pay him for private fundraisers. He's having this cryptocurrency ball where he has a personal cryptocurrency he profits from. Where you have if you're a top 225 funder, you get invited to a private dinner. If you're a top 25 funder, you get exclusive access to the president. There's laws in place that like Democrats put in there to be anti-corruption, and I think a lot of Democrats take too much big money too. But now Trump's making that shit like normal, making it legal, and I'm like, what the hell is going on here? And he tells his base, he tells all Americans. What did he say? It's like a medical procedure. We gotta, what did he say? It's like medicine. You might go through some pain, but we're gonna come out better in the future. And he has zero plans. He's talking about making deals. He has zero deals. He said he made deals with 200 countries. There's not even 200 countries in the world. It's like, what's going on?
Like, bro, if you make deals with 200 countries, that shit would be front facing center. You would have Fox News like in the Oval Office like right now with a fucking camera on you, and you're gonna take one of those big poster boards and you're gonna pull it out and show everybody like which countries. Bro, you haven't made no deal with no fucking 200 countries. Get out of here, bro. and it's like our first. Like he's like the market manipulator in chief. It's like he manipulates the markets based off of what he says. It's just like, I don't know, bro. Like I was like a lot of Americans. Like I was extremely excited about him getting in office. Like, yeah, let's get these prices down. You know what I mean? Let's have an economic boom. Let's cut down some of the regulation. Let's cut the red tape so we can get things moving. Let's get some of these gas prices down. You know what I mean? Like, he did. You know, like for instance, the whole changing it to the Gulf of America thing. People don't really know what that was about. So what it is. The executive order that Biden signed that says we could not do any drilling within the Gulf of Mexico. So Trump just said, okay, well, you said the Gulf of Mexico, but you didn't say anything about the Gulf of America. So the man does have genius within his bones. Like, you know what I'm saying? That was smart as shit. He just changed it to the Gulf of America, and now shit, we drilling, baby, drilling. Those prices are going down. So the man does have some genius within him.
Yeah, but the only issue is he's a liar too, because in 2023 was our peak oil production in U.S. history, and Biden was president during that time, and we're at capacity for drilling. All Biden did was pause new permits for oil drilling, and when Trump said like, we're not drilling, we need to drill, baby, drill. I mean, he knew that was a lie, but he kept saying it. And people like they're busy. They're taking care of their families. They're working their jobs. They don't have time to fact check everything. But COVID happened and there was a huge supply chain issue. But that was for a reason. I mean, our hospitals were at capacity for a few months there, so we had to sort of see what was going on. We had no idea how bad COVID was gonna be. A couple million Americans still died, but it's like. At that time, the hospitals are full. You know, people are getting non-COVID injuries or like non-COVID illnesses and not being able to get into the ER or car crashes. The ER is full. So there's a period there where the whole, globe did close down. But now this is just like, it's not a pandemic that's killing millions of people. It's just like Trump not knowing how economics works. Exactly. Or he's too stubborn to care like what's happening to people, or he's too disconnected. And like, I think people should be more mad about the crypto stuff because I hear about, I definitely hear people when they say no congressional stock trading. But like the cryptocurrency is untraceable, and this is the most blatantly corrupt administration I've ever seen in American history, and it's not even that close.
I don't know, bro.
Money wise,
the Biden administration was doing some, bro. Like, I'm sorry, bro. Like, and this is good dialogue, right? You know what I mean? Like, we can agree to disagree. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're my brother in Christ. Like, I don't hate you. You know what I'm saying? Like, never will just because you have a different thought pattern than me. But like. Some of the shit that we were seeing coming out of the Biden administration was just like mind blowing, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like it was a lot of things that was going on with that administration. That was just
there's some things like so one big thing. Biden made it illegal to give members of his cabinet, his administration, gifts and big money donations to buy them.
Bro, that dude was receiving money from the enemies, bro.
No, but he made it illegal to do that, and Trump reversed it. Trump made it legal again for his people to get. Basically bribes from donors and gifts.
We had Biden on front, bro. The whole Burisma thing, and you know what I'm saying, like getting the guy fired who was actually doing the investigation.
See, this is why I want to be able to do this show, because like the Burisma thing, the guy that brought that story to the U.S., the whistleblower, he was federally indicted for lying. He admitted to lying about that entire story. There's a reason House Republicans never went forward with the investigation, because like think about it, Republicans wanted to do anything to take Biden down. If they had that evidence from like a whistleblower or whatever, they would have ran actual cases and investigations, but they couldn't find anything.
Bro,
is Hunter Biden involved in some weird things?
But we have Biden on recording saying, "Hey, like it's literally for your financial and physical safety. If you want these guarantees from America, like you have to fire this guy. Like you can't tell me that that's not like some sketchy shit to be like." He said it on recording. Then he wouldn't brag about it, bro. Like. Come on now, like, yeah, I mean.
So the issue in Ukraine at that time was that there was a puppet government on behalf of Russia, and there was a revolution in 2014, but it's not anymore. No, but okay, but I can go through all these things. I look at these all day. So Ukraine right now, Russia's invading them because Ukraine took back their country, and they had a revolution in 2014. That's why Russia's invading now. They had a Russian stooge, and Biden wanted the Russian people to be out of there. Any statement about that was about the Russian corruption in Ukraine, and they wanted Ukraine to become less corrupt. And like my big thing is, this is a complicated foreign policy matter. I can go through it, but Trump is literally swinging his what around, saying, "All right, guys, I'm gonna be corrupt as shit. I'm gonna kill the economy, and I'm gonna cut taxes. I'm gonna use the tariffs. I'm gonna tax the American people, kill American businesses, and truckers could shut down the entire world if they wanted to. They could probably make twice what they make already. They could shut down the entire, even more than the military can. Like they could just stop doing supply. If we had a general trucker strike, the whole thing would shut down. And Trump said, "Screw you guys. I'm gonna take money from all the crypto donors, from China, from Russia, from Hungary, from El Salvador. We're gonna do all this crazy stuff. Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos, the whole oligarchy. I'm gonna come out here and be as corrupt as possible, right in the open." And his supporters just cannot hold him accountable. And it's like, if you really care about all these stories that don't have all the evidence, maybe you saw some things that you think are convincing. You don't even need that for Trump, but somehow no one cares because I guess he's honest about being completely corrupt. But I can tell you a bunch of things Biden did that were pro-union, pro-labor. The labor boards and regulations to protect like coal miners from black lung, so that the CEOs couldn't make a big buck when their employees would just die off. So like, and labor like protections on the work. Like I can go through all these things and tell people about like Trump cut cancer research in America by 50%. So where are our tax dollars going? Like if we're not going to fund cancer research, if we're going to fund like ICE agents to go on college campuses with going after students for their opinion on Israel, and dropping bombs on Iran, it's just like there's so many things I've heard Trumpers say they care about that he's going back on.
We're talking about dropping bombs on bro. Do you know how much money that Biden sent over to the Ukraine war, which is really, we all know that they can't win that fucking war. Like, do you know how much money he sent over there? Do you know how much money?
It's 120 billion.
Yeah, no, way more than that, and that's not including the money they spent on the illegal immigrants that shouldn't even been over here in the first fucking place.
So for Ukraine, I could give you a new perspective on it. So for Ukraine, we helped take away their nuclear weapons with the help of Russia and the UK in 1994. We had an agreement. We provide support for their sovereignty. We would make sure that they have like some type of support if they get invaded militarily, because we took away their ability to defend themselves with a nuclear weapon. So we did have that agreement. But also right now from Ukraine, our military and our country, we're getting back, like I'd say, priceless intel. They have our missile defense systems that are like outdated, but we still get the data from those, all the intel from those. They're learning how to fight 21st century drone warfare with their people, their bodies on the line. All they wanted was some type of help. But like I'm saying, the research they have sent back, for example, they would wear these like camo suits. They really have like extremely heavy suits. Maybe coats and jackets and like really just heavy gear. And they found out that if they wear heavier gear, the drones have a harder time detecting their heat signature. And they found that out from Ukrainian people dying out there. And they sent that intel back to us. We work through NATO and all those countries, and our military gets invaluable information that'll defend us if we get into war with China someday. So it's not like we just sent them money and never got anything in return. Like we had to deal with them, and then we got this invaluable data that you can only get from people dying, protecting their country. So when I look at that situation, the tax dollars America sent is like a large piece or two per year. At the time we sent them money, and we got back priceless information. So I mean, if we want to look at it in a self-serving way, not only protecting democracies, there's a lot to look at.
You're extremely well versed in that, bro, and that's awesome. Like that's really good information. But at the same time, like I said before, it's just like we're sacrificing human beings' lives, bro, for information. Like I don't think that's right, and I still think
it's not a sacrifice, though.
I mean, we sacrifice other people's lives to get back information that would help us, bro, and we spent billions of dollars to do it, bro.
The issue is,
I still don't
this
think
is
that's
something.
Right. Like, if it's not involving us directly, we shouldn't be involved in no other country's wars. I don't give even Israel. Like Israel is not. That's not our greatest ally. Like the Mossad has done more damage to the United States of America than any other nation. I'm extremely against not the people of Israel, but the Israel government and Mossad. Like I'm over it. Like that shit is trash. Like
what I'm saying about Ukraine. I'm not saying we're doing it on purpose. Like Russia has went through ceasefires. Russia has violated treaties. Russia has done, Russia right now is stealing their women and their children, putting them in re-education camps and trafficking them. Russia puts bounties on U.S. troops. Russia puts
literally fucking grabbing people off the streets, bro.
Russia puts bounties on U.S. troops. Russia puts bounties on U.S. troops, using ties to the Taliban in order to do that. When we look at like Ukraine taking people off the streets, if we were being invaded by Russia or China, we'd have a draft too. 100% we'd have a draft. I don't even know why we talk about that when Russia is bombing Christian churches on Palm Sunday and Trump won't even criticize it. Putin is purposely bombing Christian churches on Palm Sunday to see if America is going to talk about this in the right way. But the right-wing conservative commentators are all bought off by Russia or whoever, so they're not going to speak out against it. There's Christians being killed, slaughtered, civilians, women and children, Christians, and America can't say shit about it because they're so cucked by Russia. And I look at this entire situation, and it's like Ukraine has been invaded by Russia. We're helping them defend themselves.
But we know for a fact that the whole Russian collusion shit was a lie. So let's not even.
Okay, so what we found in that situation, for example, we know for a fact, like Tim Pool, we know that Tim Pool, Benny Johnson, Tucker Carlson were receiving money from Russia to be commentators to speak on their behalf. We know for a fact. So with Russia and Trump's case, the collusion was never proven. So there was not enough evidence to say they are colluding. The collusion was, are they working together? But there is definitive proof that Russia is helping Trump win. There was proof that
paid by the Hillary Clinton campaign, bro.
So there was proof. There is proof. There is proof Russia helps Trump win because they know that they're on the same team as Trump. That's why Trump cannot criticize Putin. He can only criticize Ukraine. But the idea that Ukraine wants this war or we're sacrificing people is not true. Russia will kill and rape and pillage all the civilians in Ukraine with ease. Regardless if there's a war or not a war. Russia has been doing that the past 30 years, and the past forever since the Soviet Union fell.
Me a little bit, bro. Come on now, bro.
I'm sorry I'm bringing it up, but this is the thing, though. Like, I understand this stuff a lot, and I know people are lying about it. And, I know that there's a lot of truck drivers, for example, watching podcasts all day. And I could probably, directly see I could probably predict like what you hear on certain podcasts, like a Rogan or a Tim Pool. Or even the other podcasts like Theo Vaughn, like they have some wonky guest on.
I don't really deal with Tim Pool. He's too pro-Israel for me. If you're pro-Israel, I don't listen to your content. Like that's just how I am. I
just don't understand. Like when I say Russia will kill, rape, and pillage all the civilians and children, re-education camps, all that kind of stuff, and they've been doing it with Ukraine, violating ceasefires and peace treaties and everything. Even if you wanted to not help anyone, I would still expect someone to say like, yeah, Russia, they put bounties on U.S. troops. They've been doing that for a long time. They want us dead. They want America dead. They hate everything America stands for. And by the way, anyone that fought and died for the freedom of this country, I know they're all too old now to really give a comment, and many of them have died off. The idea that we could, like with Ukraine, we could provide humanitarian help that is morally correct. We can get military intel back. And Russia, which is an adversary that we've been battling forever in the name of freedom globally. The idea that Americans have fought and died so long, and all we need to do is provide some type of basic support and maintain NATO, and we're crying about the amount of money it takes. I feel terrible that America's letting this entire world fall apart, that those men fought and died for. Those American soldiers fought and died for this shit, but they're all dead now for World War II. They can't really advocate on behalf of themselves or the world order that we have led the past like 80 years. And I'm just really, I don't like how so many Americans are now going to say like pro-Putin positions, like, oh, Zelensky's a dictator, when that stuff's just not where Zelensky sold weapons to Mexico,
Are you really trying to tell me, are you really going to sit here and tell me that Zelensky is a good guy? That's where we're at right now?
Did I say Zelensky's a good guy? I said he's not a dictator.
Bro, okay. All right, well, I mean, I guess we just disagree there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
so, like, objectively, not the word objectively. It's a fact he's not a dictator. It's a fact. The government there, he's following their constitution.
Bro,
they have a parliament.
He's kidnapping people who don't want to fight. Like, you can't make somebody go to war if they don't want to go to war. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's kidnapping people off of the street.
I mean, if America was being invaded by, so for example, if China invaded America and took 20% of our country, we'd be doing more than a draft.
Hey, put me in a jail cell. I'm not going to war. I'm not about to put myself on the front line for a dumbass reason. You know what I'm saying? No.
Okay, wait. They would still put you in jail. Yeah, they do that. If someone's not going to fight, they put them in jail. Yeah, it's a draft. Your country's being invaded. You're all gonna die.
Hey,
America would do that too. I feel like this is some 21st century pampered talk, though. This is like pampered talk when we don't live in a war zone. We don't understand it. Just because we're pampered in America doesn't mean we should be like shitting on them because they're having to fight a war like this.
No, I'm not shitting on anybody. What I'm saying is, like, he's literally kidnapping people off of the streets and making them go to war when they clearly don't want to go to war.
Okay, but you said already if America was being invaded and China took 20% of our country, you said that if they try to draft, you could put them in jail too. So we would be doing that. Do you disagree with that?
What I said was, at least in our country, we have a decision where we can say, hey, I don't want to go to war. I don't believe in what you guys are fighting for. I think it's nonsense, and this is not going to benefit me. I don't want to do it.
Yeah,
And
you would
you
still
can go
maintain a
prison.
draft. You would still maintain a draft, but in Russia, they just kill you if you try to not fight. But you don't say bad things about Russia. It's weird.
I'm not for one second gonna sit here and say that Putin isn't a dictator. I'm not saying that at all. But what I'm saying is Zelensky is no better.
But that is an insane take. That's an insane take. Like, I hope you know that. Like, by every logical metric of fact in the world.
I'm just saying, bro. Like we all have the. Like I said, I don't hate you. I don't dislike you. I enjoy your content. I think you're very knowledgeable in talking about these situations. But you know what I'm saying? Like that's just how I feel about it, bro. You know what I mean? Like I know that Zelensky is a piece of shit and Putin is a dictator also. I mean, I don't think no one is not better than the other. You know what I'm saying? I think it's just a city situation and we shouldn't be involved in it at all.
So the main thing I would say is Ukraine is trying to get away from Russia because Russia makes Ukraine more corrupt. That's why Ukraine had multiple revolutions. Zelensky is trying to move Ukraine to the west, and to the west I mean, to Europe, to America, to NATO, to get away from the communist authoritarian Russia, because Russia has been raping and killing their people forever. Russia has been stealing their land forever.
We have short memories. Do you not remember when Zelensky was in Texas with Bush at his ranch in Texas, like riding around in his F-350, like with the media filming it, and he told him personally that they weren't going to be surrounded by NATO, and NATO kept like come on, bro, like people have short memories. There's literally footage of Putin in Bush's, and this was when Bush was in office, in his F-350 at his ranch in Texas, riding around and fucking smiling and kikiing and hi-hiing, bro. Like, we have a short memory here in America, bro. Like, do you not? I remember it. You know what I'm saying? I might be a little bit old. I'm probably a lot older than you. I'm 39 years old. But I remember that like it was yesterday. Like,
yeah, but I'm going off of battle intel. I'm going off of the countries and what Russia has done to Ukraine. I'm not going off of a random video that I saw on YouTube.
If Putin was, I mean, hey, man, like, I don't know. Like, what?
But, okay, just for me to finish my points on Ukraine that you keep on interrupting. Okay, my main point is that comparing them, Russia puts bounties on U.S. troops. They hate America. They hate everything that freedom stands for. They want a global dictatorship. They want to restore the former Soviet Union. They kidnap kids. They sex traffic kids and women. They abuse them. They manipulate them, put them in re-education camps so that the parents never recognize the kids again. They become little Russian bots. Putin kills his own people if they try to retreat. The idea that you could look at both of those men and think they're the same is literally insane. Like, you might want to take yourself into an insane asylum, brother. I do appreciate you, but that kind of thinking is why you voted for someone that's going to kill your industry.
Some of the biggest sex traffickers in the world are right here in our fucking country, bro. So.
But do you see how you can't respond to what I'm actually saying, though? And you could just say I don't know that much about it, but I would just say don't have much strong opinions because, like, you voted for a guy that's going to kill the trucking industry, and people thought he's good for the economy, and there's no reason to believe that, you know?
What I said was I supported President Trump, bro. Like, and back in the days, bro, I lived a certain kind of life to where I gave up my civil liberty to be able to vote in legally possessed firearms, if you know what I mean. So I don't have the right to vote anymore, bro. But what I can say is I was happy that he was coming into office because I remember what it was like pre-COVID before he got into the office for the trucking industry. And then when COVID happened, like, trucking exploded because the rates went crazy and there was a shitload of freight. So I reckon that back to saying, okay, well, when he gets in office, hopefully things will change and get better and back to what it was. And now it's basically self-inflicted wounds, and it's going to be worse than it was for COVID. And the thing that pissed me off even worse was 3 days ago, he was doing an interview in the Oval Office, and he was asked by a reporter, and they said, President Trump, did you think about the small businesses and the impact that it was going to have on them with the tariffs? And he said, no, I didn't. And I was like, holy shit, like, fuck, he doesn't care.
He still says that other countries pay the tariff, so I mean, I think his brain is cooked. He's worse than Biden was. At least Biden couldn't just Biden was too tired to get the words out, but Trump gets the words out, and it sounds like that. Holy shit. It's crazy, dude. I wish he sounded like Biden.
Hey,
sound better saying nothing. Holy shit.
I'm just saying, dude. I mean, yeah, bro. Like, I appreciate you taking my call, bro. This is awesome. I mean, in the trucking industry, a lot of times all we have to talk to is our family back at home and the wife and my kids and stuff like that. But man, I really appreciate it. Just to be able to come on here and vent and actually have somebody to talk to about this shit, man. Because if we don't talk about it, it'll just drive us all crazy. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, I'm not gonna get like offended over that many things. So if you ever want to call in and talk about gay or trans people and how you could be someone who's like Christian and still supporting them.
It's not that I hate those people. Like, bro, like I actually have, family members who are of the LGBT community. But what I don't agree with is teaching it to 3 and 4 year old little kids and 5 to 6 and 7 year old little kids that are just coming into first grade, kindergarten, and having those type of books in schools. Like, I don't agree with that. Like, don't push your lifestyle on somebody else. And I believe it's all about population control. They, this globalist agenda, they want to, basically stop the population from growing, and they want to kill a lot of us. You know what I'm saying? Basically. So what they're doing is they're pushing this LGBT thing down the throats of the next generation, so it'll stop people from having kids because basically, they don't. If you're a part of that, that group, you don't have kids, and that's what I think it's all about. It's a globalist agenda.
The only issue with that is that like developed countries don't have kids, poor countries do have kids. If you have more stuff to worry about, you usually don't have enough time to have that many kids, on average, and then yeah, there's a whole thing there, but I've been in a lot of school board meetings, a lot of different schools, and I've never seen the so-called trans agenda push on 4, 5, or 6 year olds. I hear them say, like, for example, sometimes a guy loves a guy or a girl loves a girl. Most people are not like that, but you might see it. And when you talk about trans people, just be like, well, some people are different than you. We could talk about that later, or they talk about it in high school health class. I just don't like this like idea that there's like a whole agenda to make people gay or trans. It's not like people are just kind of like that.
I mean, in the state of Oregon, my son's school was going to have a trans study hour like at the library where they came into the library and they read those type of books that we've been seeing people going to the school board meetings. And I told him my son will not participate, and he set out. You know what I mean? So
see, my only issue with that is like I can hear about certain topics to say like we should move it to different years or ages or something, but like in Republican states and Republican school boards, they're like banning books, they're banning they're making genital checking bills, like
heavy Democrat, and it's basically.
Oh no, I'm saying like for example, like in red states when they make laws about this with the big government, when they say you have to do genital checks before you go into a bathroom, they're going after like non-trans women, or that girl has broad shoulders, she looks trans, we got to check her. Old men are taking advantage of this situation, and also banning books that have nothing to do with it. Like they're really taking like, let's say there's one book that you could agree with getting banned. They use that one book as justification to ban like 500 of them. So my only thing is making sure we don't swing the conversation in the complete other direction where we're doing speech policing and thought policing, because these are people that people are going to encounter. And like the conversation I hear often is, I don't want my kid going to school and being taught by a trans teacher or a gay teacher. And like I know, but we also have documentation of down south. They said that about black teachers, and they said this about black people using waterfronts, and they said the exact same wording. And I'm not scared to go into that conversation because it's the same. It's the same exact. Like if you look at the laws, it's the same wording, but with a different demographic. The same with gays, same with blacks, same with everything.
But you can't conflate the what my like literally like 60 years ago, 70 years ago, what you can't conflate what my grandmother or my grandfather went through coming from Leesville, North Carolina and Louisiana, and they went through a lot of it and had to come to the West Coast in California to get away from it. You know what I mean? To create a better way for me and me and my uncles and my aunties and all of my cousins and stuff. I just don't think that you can conflate being. I'm
not. So I'm going by like when it comes to restricting the rights of a demographic group that people don't like based on religion or whatever. And the KKK use Christianity. And I know you know that the KKK were a Christian nationalist group.
I don't want their rights restricted. Like if that's what you choose to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's between you and God. That's not between me. And nobody has the right to tell you how you should live your life. Just live your life. You know what I'm saying? But don't push it on my kid and tell my kid that. Tell me that I have to accept it and tell my kids that they have to accept it. I don't have to accept anything. I just have to respect you as another human being, but like don't push your ideologies and your way of life on me and tell me that I have to accept it. No, I don't. Like I respect you as a human being. I love you as a human being, but like I don't have to accept anything. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like period, point blank. And that's where I think that you know, it becomes an issue. Is because like the stuff is literally getting rammed down our throats in movies and commercials, and I just got tired of seeing
but
it,
yeah,
bro.
but so I'm from a 99% white area that was a former skinhead town, sundown town. And they say the same exact words you're saying right now about black people in commercials. They don't want to see the blacks in commercials, the blacks in the Viagra commercials, the blacks in the sports. They don't want to see the blacks talking. They don't want to see the blacks moving. They don't want to see the blacks move in. They don't want to see the blacks or the browns around them. If they come around them, they're gonna move out of the town. The same exact words you're using about gay people or trans people. Same the lifestyle. I don't want to be around them. I don't want my kids being around them. It's the same exact words they say about you. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it's a comparison. I talk about racism on this channel more than anyone. I talk about reparation. I think we should still do reparations. I don't know how they do it, but just with our government holding black people down for so long directly because they're black, I want there to be reparations of some kind. There should be. That's why black people have such bad conditions in America that lead to higher crime rates and whatever. Blaming them for it is pathetic and weak. But like I'm just saying, you're using the same language to justify this, and I want to have further conversations on this too. We can't have the whole conversation right now, but I hope you call in again. You can send me a text message. We could do this for longer if you want.
Yeah, bro.
I do appreciate you sharing it. I appreciate you.
No doubt, bro. I appreciate you too. Have a good one, bro.
Yeah. Have a great night, man. Thank you for calling in.
All right, later.
Yeah, it's not it's a comparison, right? It's not a obviously, and I know a lot of black people would get mad at bringing that up. Obviously, it's like don't use my experience to compare it to this, but I'm talking about civil rights, and you can sorry, you don't gotta listen. You don't gotta listen if that offends you. I'll defend equal rights under our Constitution for anyone. And the same, and it really is the same language, bro. Like, get them off my TV, get them out of these commercials, get them out of these TV shows. Why is there a black person in my son's TV show? I hear that all the time. Please drop a like and subscribe. Someone said you're getting irritated when you start to lose the debate. We weren't even debating. That's the one thing too. These internet insular, autistic, in a good way, autistic internet dwellers don't understand like the difference between a debate and an aggressive conversation with someone you respect, you know? Because that's a completely different thing from a debate. It's not meant to own someone. It's like, hey, I'm going to tell you about this. I'm going to tell you some real talk, straight talk. I'm not going to hold back my opinion because I have opinions on this, but I hope you know, like when you say, I hope you know I appreciate you, but we're going to go into this conversation. It's not going to be completely PC, completely safe. It's not going to be, we're not going to hold back on it, but we're going to talk about some real shit. Completely different from a debate. Please drop a like, subscribe again. I might restart the YouTube Shorts with a different title. Appreciate you guys watching. If you want to donate to the channel, donate to Jolah Politics. My stream goal per night is going to be $25 on Venmo or Cash App. Or PayPal, Jolah Politics, Venmo or Cash App. I think $25 is reasonable. It does not need to be hit either. It's just a thing that's gonna be on there. So don't worry about it. I'm just gonna have it on the stream though. It's gonna be on the stream. I'll take another call in a second. Autistic, shut up. You're balding and I'm not. Yeah, I do have high testosterone. And you have low testosterone, brother. I am hairy everywhere but my head, brother. I'm sorry you do not have that experience. Oh crap. You have high testosterone. Yeah, I could dunk on you. Easily. Off one foot. Off one toe. In fact, I could dunk on you standing behind the back, alley-oop to myself. You can't do shit about it. You'll be crying. Better hope they don't play that replay on TV. Okay, guys. Let's do this real quick. Oh, boy. Okay. All right, I'm going to start my horizontal stream up. I'm going to direct you to that stream. I'm going to restart my YouTube Shorts. You know the drill. I have two streams, YouTube Shorts and horizontal. I'm going to send you to the horizontal stream. Horizontal is the full screen. It should direct you there automatically. Then I'm going to start a new YouTube Shorts. White people were slaves? Not in America. Yeah, that's true. Not in America. I hate that conversation too. It's like, well, what black people had slaves other places too. It's like, well, in America, we talk about the context in America. It's not just owning slaves that we talk about. You can actually argue that the things America did to black people after slavery ended is worse because we should have known. At that point, you're like admitting it's a bad thing. At least more people knew it was bad, and they did more clever forms of discrimination. So it's not much better. Just because you're forced to not have like direct slaves. Okay, like I said. No, I launched another YouTube short stream. 1 second. This sucks. Did I go live yet? I did not go live yet. Here you go. That should work. Deport Elon immediately. Yes, TEI. That was a good conversation, though. I think that was a good one. We got to hit on some points. I don't think I was too aggressive, but it's just like, you know, there's certain things that it's annoying if someone comes up to you and talks like an expert. Like, I'm not gonna. I partially have professional training in some of these things. Redirect. Okay, here we go. Whoa, 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 whoa. I know you love me. How's Justin Bieber doing lately?